I'm always in Discord.
Discordio. Fucking cut the grass today, man. My ass need to get in the gym. Fuck.
And that be the workout, bro.
Not good enough. Not a good enough one, brethren. All right.
Because I like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What up? What up? It's your boy,
Son
Cherry
of a
Blossom. All right, I did it on purpose. I did it. I was like, I'm gonna get him. All right. Okay, you got it. I'm sorry. Damn it. He said, son of a
stupid. All right. Hello, and welcome to episode 226 of the Super Weapon Podcast, most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy, Dearest Artist, and as always, got my co-host here with me today.
What up, though? Yeah, we in this thing, baby, and we got one hell of a pod for you today. We will be talking about what everyone's been talking about for the last couple of days. Some good old Nintendo. Yes, sir. We will be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 today. So grab your popcorn, grab your sandwich, grab your lady, grab your man, have a seat on the couch, and let us take you on this ride.
What a episode indeed, man. We finally have a release date. I would say price point, but we'll get into that later. And just a lot of hands-on videos with not only the Switch 2, but the some games that are coming out for it as well. Welcome Nintendo to the current gen console generation. Finally, you know, they always like to do things on their own, you know, beat of their own drum essentially. And I will stand by this, man. I really wish they would have just called this like the Super Nintendo Switch or something more fun, but I guess you gotta just, you know, marketing and everything make it easier for people to find, search, or whatever, right? But I guess we can frame this conversation into a couple of different parts, just like the show overall, the games, and hardware / tariffs, I guess, that could affect the release date, and just the overall console generation, I guess you could say, man, because, you know, with the most recent announcement by our Commander-in-Chief, that's the nicest way I can put that. You know, it seems like it's going to be affecting quite a bit here in the U.S. But just, I guess, overall, man, now that we finally have seen this thing in action, I do have some hardware specs in front of me as well. But what are you kind of thinking about the Switch 2? You know, like I said, we'll talk about price point and everything like that, but just like overall feelings on the console itself, you know, now that we finally have seen it officially in all of its glory, in its Nintendo glory.
Well, I'm going to come in with a firm voice because I'm firmly speaking to you, Nintendo. I have like this weird optimistic approach to this, if you will, if that's what you want to call it.
Sure.
Because it's like I'm trying not to be negative, but we have to have an honest conversation. Some of the wind got taken out of my sail as more news rolled in. Because I started off with like, yes, Nintendo. You know, I missed out on the Switch 1.
Right.
I gotta have a Switch 2. And then it was just certain things that kind of threw me off a little bit. But overall, I was excited just about, you know, just for the news in general, because we knew it was coming. We just didn't know when, right?
Yeah.
We was like, oh, Nintendo's gonna, you know, eventually they're gonna start at least talking more about the Switch 2, or they're gonna give us something. And they delivered. They gave us, you know, we got firm dates. We got a very nice long list of games. So we have that. And with that alone, now just speaking on that excited me.
Yeah.
So I say that to say this, like I was excited going into this, starting off with even Mario, you know, starting off with the Mario Kart World. I'm not the biggest fan of Mario. We all know this, but Mario Kart World is just bigger than Mario. It's not just about him. You have a racing game with all kinds of characters, and
The
I was
first
very
one in almost a
interested.
decade too, because I think eight.
And I
Yeah.
think they went big with it for it to be so long for them not to have a Mario Kart game. I'm usually not with having an open world just for the sake of having an open world, but from what I can see, how it's designed, and in that world alone, like just starting off the whole showcasing this because people wanted it. Once again, they kind of delivered on what people wanted because people been wanting a new Mario Kart game for a while. So I think it was smarter of them to start off with that, lure you in, get you hype, and overall first impressions. Yeah, I was there. I was in there. I was in there. I was excited. Really enjoyed the majority of the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
Um, and we kind of knew, you know, like what the actual Switch was going to look like. We knew the capabilities with the mouse. What is it? The Joy-Con? Is that what they're calling them?
Yeah, the
The
detachable Joy Cons. Yeah.
mouse. Yeah. So yeah, man, I felt like it was a very strong presentation. I felt really good about it, like I said. But we'll talk about later where the kind of like the decline came in. But overall, it was good.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, man. I thought the showcase itself was pretty fantastic, and
Yeah.
I was right there with you. Is
Look at that
and
throw.
we've talked about it before about wanting to not only just cover more Nintendo games, but play more of them. Like, you know, my wife and Michaela really have gotten they've got more mileage out of the Switch that I have than than myself currently. But there were quite a few games that were pretty interesting to me. Yeah, just like you mentioned about Mario Kart, man, that's going to be the big summer game for them. It's coming bundled just like Zelda came bundled with the Switch in 2017. This one's gonna come bundled with Mario, and it might be a good idea to buy that because of the price. We'll talk about that, but
Yeah, it's like there's a savings. There's a little savings there.
yeah, you'll save a little bit of money on the back end. Buying the Switch.
What is Mario doing? Oh my God.
Yeah.
For our
um,
audio listeners, he's kind of like on the screen just
yeah. So this is what you're seeing here is the Treehouse Live that they did. So they did this, and I think a few other videos with some of the other games. I think they did one with Donkey Kong too, where they were
mhm.
just playing the game and kind of like going a little bit in depth with it. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Mario Kart would probably be the sole reason why I want to get a Switch right now. I think
I'm telling you,
it looks
it looks
actually
fun as
incredible.
hell, man. And then playing
Yeah.
with friends,
Yeah, and the fact that they've upped the player count up to
24.
24 players, and I believe before it was 12, if I remember correctly. Like, I haven't played Mario Kart in years, man. Like,
I haven't played Mario Kart since 64,
yeah, it's
maybe.
been a long time for me too,
It's
man.
been decades. Like it's been
I
forever since
think
I
I
played
played a little
Mario.
bit like on GameCube and Wii, but I think like really like it's been a long time since I sat down and enjoyed it. And I think Nintendo's really smart about getting a killer app. As seems to be like the. I think this will really help the console succeed, right? And that's something I kind of wanted to like highlight too with console sales and just like new hardware that comes out. Like I really do believe like consoles need like a killer app to sell the console. And I know some people were a little apprehensive about this being exclusive to the Switch too. I'm just gonna say this much, man. Like I appreciate Nintendo doing this mainly because with PlayStation and Xbox or Microsoft, they typically will do like the cross generation games for a few years. But Nintendo definitely wasn't scared to just rip the Band-Aid off, and I'm actually glad
Hmm.
to see them do that. I think that it's something that that has been a practice in the industry. I think since I want to say realistically, probably since like the 360 PS3 era when hardware was a little bit closer in capability. You had like those cross gen games, but I think this is the one this is gonna move units for them 100%. Like there's no irregardless
Yeah,
of
this
what the
is
price is like for the console itself, but this is definitely gonna move units, and I'm definitely this will get me in the door for sure. So much so that I want to get a second Switch. Because I showed Lisa this yesterday morning, or yeah, it was yesterday evening actually. I showed her the trailer for this, and she's like super excited for this. So definitely gonna have to pony up for that, which is fine. But I think overall the show was just like enjoyable. I don't know what it is about Nintendo that they make gaming look fun, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like like
I can
it
agree with
you
that.
know, like
Yeah.
their games just look like purely fun video games. And of course, like we said before, we do have some major criticisms that we'll talk about later, but I think just like the showcase itself was actually really well done by them, even though there were some technical difficulties. I was watching this live at work, and there was at one point the stream actually lagged really bad behind, and there was a little bit of like desync with the audio and some of the people talking, but
Hmm.
outside of that, like the showcase itself
It's
was
the
actually
risk,
pretty incredible.
you
Yeah,
know. You take that risk going live, man. Like every time you press that live button, even with us,
yeah,
unforeseen circumstances, but overall, yeah, this is like the mafia, Nintendo mafia might be coming and get us, just to throw that out there, but because we have some fair, I would say, we're gonna put a big capital F,
yeah, 100%.
fair criticisms. This is not gonna just be a happy go lucky ride the Nintendo train, turn into a
No,
Nintendo night session. So yeah, man, Mario Kart is definitely a strong way to attract people, I believe. The
yeah,
game just looks really fun, man. Like and nowadays everyone is playing together,
yeah, yeah,
and for them to have like even like the the couch co-op abilities, like the fact that they're still adding these things on, and giving you more like, I feel like they fill that void of family. You know what I'm saying?
they
Because like
definitely do.
Nintendo,
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Xbox, they have like all these Dark Souls serious type games, and you got Nintendo. I think a big part of their bread and butter is they do kind of make like these really family oriented games. Like people just come over, you could just play with your homeboys. You could, this is something like I would literally like probably play with my mom or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
something they could just pick up and grasp, probably be trash at it, but
Yeah.
still have that fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, I'll just give them this. Like, I know we tout Sony first party for their quality of games, but when Nintendo releases, their first party studios, I don't even know if they announced who's actually developing this. I know there were some people speculating it could have been the 3D Mario team, but I don't think so. I had a theory that we'll get a true like 3D Mario game next year. That's another conversation, but you
Big
just
plumber crack.
yeah, like you can just really see the quality and that they really understand the hardware that they're developing for. And I guess that kind of lends to the games being exclusive to one platform, so they can kind of hone in and focus on like those specific specs and everything.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, like I really feel
That makes
like
a hell of a difference.
hmm
Yeah.
like of course I would love to see this like Mario Kart on like multi-platform, so you can have just like millions of people
Oh,
playing this. Like not like that's not gonna happen anyway, but
Mafia
I
heard you.
respect, yeah, right. I respect them for doing that, and like I said, I'm glad that they just kind of ripped the band-aid off, and because just from the look of the game itself, I imagine that this could possibly have some trouble running on Switch, the original Switch hardware. And I mean,
Hmm.
like I said, this is as somebody who does not play my Switch, nearly enough or play Nintendo games nearly as much as I used to growing up. This is something that really is interesting to me, and I think that's probably like the angle they're going for. I feel like that's the angle they're going for this time around with their generation, specifically, with games like this and
And
their
the games that they're bringing,
yeah,
right?
and
Because
their
they're
in their
bringing
third
a
party
lot
lineup.
of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're bringing a lot of quote unquote big boy games to the console, right? Because you like, I saw like Elden Ring. You getting a lot of sports games, which was like,
yeah,
wow, because 2K is coming. You got wrestling. Madden is coming. Like they're filling that sports void. That was like a big thing for me. I put that in my
yeah.
notes too,
And we
because
could
I
talk
was like,
about that too.
wow.
Like the hardware itself. I actually have. Hold on, let me pull it up on another screen here, because they actually were working with NVIDIA to bring DLSS and I believe AI upscaling to the console, which is incredible. Let me find the link here. Weenie in chat says Switch games have trouble running Switch games. That is very true. The Switch has trouble running Switch games. That is 100% true.
Yeah, let it out, brother.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
bite your tongue. Weenie's in the chat going crazy. See, this is why y'all gotta come see us live, man.
Yeah. All right, so I have them here, the specs. Yeah, so they have a custom NVIDIA processor that they're running in the Switch 2. 8 times more memory too, which I think is actually fantastic. So you have 256 gigs of internal memory, with the option to expand using a micro SD express card. So those are different from a traditional micro SD card. If you guys are wondering, those are a lot faster, and they were very specific to mention to not buy the normal micro SD cards. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So do not do that.
It is not compatible.
Not at all. I do like that the Switch screen is much bigger as well. I was watching a few hands-on videos with people comparing, like, holding both the original Switch 1 and 2, and like the bigger screen is welcome for somebody like myself who has terrible eyes. It runs 1080p in handheld mode and 4K HDR docked, which I think is, once again, fantastic. Welcome to 4K. Probably be more so, like I said, that AI upscaled 4K, probably 4K 60, 4K 30, which once again, I think is fine for a lot of Switch games. Personally, I know, once again, you have $5,000 PCs that can't even reliably run 4K 60, guys. So let's just, let's relax on that. I saw some people talking about that too. Like, come on, let's just be honest. Come on, guys. Let's relax.
We have not even mastered the art.
Yeah, Bleeding Edge is having trouble right now. So, and of course, like DC mentioned, the Joy-Cons they're magnetic now, which they look a lot sturdier. If you've ever held a Switch and the Joy-Con, I'll be honest, I hate taking those things off, man. I fucking hate it. I never take my Joy-Cons off on the Switch because it is so unintuitive. I think it was good for the time and it was innovative, but I'm glad that they kind of went with this magnetic. They really do just snap in and they look very like sturdy once they're in, like they don't slide around or anything, which is awesome. And you can use the Joy-Cons for like the mouse mode. I'm gonna be honest, that's probably not for me. I don't know, like I don't see myself.
I'm up here messing with my mouse right now, trying to see, because it looks awkward because of the way it's shaped.
Right? Yeah. I just
like a traditional mouse is not. Because I'm taking my controller, I got my Xbox controller, and I'm turning it sideways. I'm like, how does that feel?
And that's actually a good point now that you say that. Like, it's the width of it is a lot thinner. A lot more thin compared to a mouse. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
You take your phone and you're doing like this, and it's just like
your hands will probably start cramping after a while. Like, and I know they had that one basketball game that. I mean, hey man, there's something for it's not for everyone. Like certain features.
You're talking about what was the game? They were in the wheelchairs?
Yeah, the wheelchair basketball game. Like they invented wheelchair basketball or something, but I don't know. Like I just that was a little weird to me. But overall, like I said, it looks like a more sturdy console itself because
drag and drive.
That's what it was. Yeah, drag and drive. Yeah. Hopefully there isn't any issues with the Joy-Cons themselves, because when the original Switch first launched, there was even to the point where I think there either was a class action lawsuit or there was close to being one about the Joy-Con drift, and Nintendo had to basically own up to fix that for a lot of people, like because they weren't very sturdy at all. I know we always talk about like controllers and the lack of
controller
quality
can survive me.
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch survived the mighty hand.
So stupid. But overall, like I think it's cool. I will say I saw a lot of people talking about the camera, and I have two feelings about the camera. I honestly have two feelings. The first,
they won't be using that for long. I don't feel like. Well, go ahead.
No, my first feeling is you got shit on the Kinect when it first came out. Everybody took a big dump on the Kinect when it launched 15 years ago at this point, 10 plus years ago at this point. And I think that the camera is more so for the younger audience of kids who've grown up watching streamers. Those are my two initial thoughts. You know, you
Boy,
had,
you digging in my brain because I said they are definitely trying to capture
yeah,
the content culture with that.
yes,
And this is my thing. If you're gonna do it, like give us something of quality because I feel like from what they showed in a
it
video,
did not look
could it
compelling.
could
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't even like they didn't look good. Like it
Mm-mm.
looked blurry a little bit. Am I tripping? Am I
No,
the only
it
one who?
looked like it was maybe 720p. That's being generous. And I wonder
Yeah,
if it's
because it
going to
looked
do
like
the
the
thing where,
Xbox camera that remember that for the 360.
yeah, yeah.
Remember that camera for the three? That's what it looked like to me. I was like, if y'all gonna do that, at least make it look good.
You know, like Nintendo just kind of kills me sometimes when they make these decisions, man. Like I understand, and we kind of talked about this too, right? With the whole game chat feature that they put on the Switch, where your friends can just join in and they can pop up on your screen if they got a camera or watch you play or whatever the fuck, man. Like just put Discord on the Switch, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't agree with the argument. Oh,
Because they
but the
had a generic.
kids, but the children, right? Like kids have access to social media on their phones, on their tablets, on their game consoles. They literally kids are growing up in social media, and I just think it's a poor excuse for them not wanting to work with these other like adding other software that, I mean, I know it took a while for Discord to make its way onto Xbox and PlayStation, but it works great, man. Like I just
Started
don't.
off rough.
Yeah, it did.
Started off rough, but they got it. They
I,
got it right.
I just don't agree with it. Like I think people there will be some people that use the camera function,
They're gonna
for
use
either
that for a
family,
while.
yeah, what I mean, like play games with your family or play games with your kids. If somebody travels a lot, sure. And I also wonder if you'll have the ability to use like third party cameras with the console, or if it's just like, because
Oh, if it's just Switch, that is
you know what I mean?
trash.
Because you think about it, right? Like some cameras, like a like even like a little Logitech or something that you could buy at Best Buy, you may have to download drivers for it, and you gotta wonder, is Nintendo gonna allow those types of things? That's just really like where my head was at with that part of the announcement. I thought that was the weakest part of the show, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess we'll see. We didn't really get a whole lot of, or at least I didn't see any additional information when it comes to the camera, and it's like $50 too, which is insane to me. $50 for a 720p camera in 2025, man. It's like
And
that's like
dude,
insane.
I get it because I respect what they like. They're trying to bring the what it, they trying to bring back that Wii era. I feel with all the
Sure. Yeah.
interactions with the camera and you jumping around, punching stuff, and you
Yeah.
got these kind of interactive games that you can use with the camera. I just feel like there should have been a little more thought put into the camera
Agreed.
as far as just like power. Like at least give us, give us. I don't even know what specs that was. I just knew when I was putting in my notes, I was like, that looks awful. That was a step back for me. Like I was
I
enjoying what I
agree.
was seeing. Then when I saw that, and I thought it was cool, the things that they were doing, but it's just when the people's face came up and I was just like, everything looks kind of blurry. Because I even checked my YouTube settings. I was like, wait a minute, did my settings go
I
down?
even I
Or
even waited for them to upload the presentation and watched it on YouTube just to make sure, and it was still blurry. So yeah, it's not just you, man. And I mean, like, I'm be honest, man. I'm getting like Labo, the Nintendo Labo energy. With that, like, fold up some cardboard to play around with. I'm gonna sell you $100 worth of cardboard to
it
play
was
with.
like, I feel like it was a selling point to Nintendo Discord.
I agree.
Now I feel like we got to sell this chat, so we're gonna put this shiny, nice object here.
Yeah.
Like, let's just make it look. Let's give them something. Let's give them something interactive.
Yeah.
Let's kind of try to get them on the Nintendo chat, on the wave of the Nintendo chat. And I do want to say something about that real quick.
Absolutely.
Um, to pay for this separate thing, it's like, okay, we're already paying for the system and all this stuff. I get it, but if you're gonna be charging, you have to bring it. Like, you got to make it worth people's purchase. And I honestly, who's to say, like, bruh, no one's gonna buy that chat when they could just sit on Discord. Like we all do it. We all
Right.
play different games. I'm on Discord on my phone. Like people have the option of just using Discord. I don't think that chat's gonna ring off like they think it is. But hey, more power to them. Maybe some Nintendo Knights will, use it and be happy with it. I'm personally, if I buy a Switch 2, I'm never using that chat. I'm just letting you
I
know.
agree with you, man. It's just something that's gonna be that was a big miss for me, and I really just kind of rolled my eyes with that part of the presentation. I was like, man. Nintendo. I mean, I'll give them this.
Yeah.
Nintendo's not afraid to try new things and
Yeah.
try to innovate in plenty of areas, even at their own detriment. Like just join the rest of the modern world and let your community interact with other gamers. Let them talk to their friends, please. But yes, I mean that's like hardware overall looks pretty good, man. And I guess we can talk about like some of the games. There were a few. There was one announcement in particular I think that got me more excited than anything.
What was
And
that?
for me, it was the announcement of the GameCube being added to the Nintendo Online services. Which, for those who know
Bring
me,
back some
man,
nostalgia.
GameCube's like top three, maybe top two favorite console of all time for me, man. Like, back
Except
when.
for that controller.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? I actually like the GameCube controller, man. I honestly do. I hate the 64 controller,
You got puppy
but
hands. Because man, that thing used to hurt the hell out of my hands, man.
yeah, I
Wait.
am.
No. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Wrong controller.
Yeah.
Wrong controller.
Well,
Yeah. I'm thinking of the what was the one that had the analog in the middle?
oh, you're thinking about the 64. Yeah,
Um
that's the 64
yeah,
controller.
64. I'm sorry.
You're thinking
Carry
about the
on. My
capital
bad.
M. Yeah, nah, you're good, man. Honestly, and I'm gonna to talk to Winnie's point here in a second, but I think that nostalgia is a really huge thing with gamers right now, and as we move away into this world where physical games are becoming more expensive, especially on the secondary market. I mean, you have some Nintendo games that are like hundreds of dollars, right? And yeah, Winnie, while it would be quote unquote cheaper to buy the console itself, the games are not cheap. Like Pokemon Coliseum is running like $200. Like I looked it up earlier. Like unless you find a
Mm.
really good deal, but how many people would be willing to go through those links? Like I'm thinking like from the point of a casual gamer or somebody who just wants to play the games they grew up playing on the current hardware, and that's kind of where my mind was with that. But
Mm.
I'm very excited. I hope that we get a robust library of games. Like, give me custom Robo, man. Give me that back. That is my favorite GameCube game of all time. Let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick. It was this arena. I know they only announced like 4 games. Custom Robo. This, man, I played this game so much as a kid. The story is awful. It's a really bad,
Mm.
just generic
Oh,
story. Let me see if I can find
oh
like just
God. I
gameplay.
feel like I'm about to laugh.
But it's like this game where you can basically take parts of like different robots and put them together, and you just kind of fight in an arena, man. It's just like an arena fighter. This game was so much fun as a kid, man. It's actually pretty difficult too. Like it took me a while to beat the last boss in this game, but this is what I mean though, right? Like you have this kind of nostalgia. This type of stuff is what'll get me personally, man. Like I just really.
What is this? Battle
Yeah.
bots?
You could buy that game and the GameCube. Disagree, not for cheaper. This game is $100 on eBay. I think I saw the cheapest one I saw was maybe $80. But I disagree. I disagree. But
Matter
I
of fact, we're gonna take your mod status.
no, it's okay. We can disagree, man. It's fine.
No, I'm just
And I
messing with
mean,
him.
hell, man,
We know I'm
honestly,
messing with
you
him.
might be the person to talk to about that kind of stuff, Weenie, because you have a very extensive collection, and you may have like some ears to the
Yeah.
ground, like to find some cheaper games. But I think overall, like for the
This
average person, man, like like I said, somebody like myself who grew up playing this GameCube, and I miss it dearly. Like this was probably like one of the things I was most excited for. You know, I want to play Pokemon Coliseum. I want to play Robotech Battle Cry. Like there's a lot of games that I had on GameCube that I wish I could play again. And I mean, come on, you guys don't like the GameCube disc, the little tiny little pizza disc that they were on? Like, it was just a. It
That's
was
another thing about Nintendo. They always got some kind of weird ass physical copy, right? Like it's always
yeah, yeah.
a cartridge, a disc, or
It was
it's
just
always
strange.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
I swear they just be being different to be different. I promise you.
I agree. I agree 100%. But yeah,
this
I
episode
that was
27.
probably the thing I was most excited about. But like you said earlier, DC, there are some pretty extensive games that are coming up third party, man. Was there anything that kind of caught your eye besides Mario Kart that you're looking forward to?
Well, first of all, we got an extensive list of at least, last I counted, it was 20 plus games. Good, nice, chunky boy
Yeah,
for the years of 2025 rolling into 2026. Nintendo has a nice little beefy little lineup, and I think that's good for the console as well to come out with. And you know what? Like, I am very, very impressed with, like I said earlier, the third party games here. Like,
yeah,
there's something for everybody here. There's literally something for everyone here. I mean, I was surprised to see like Hogwarts is coming out when it drops. Split Faction, Street Fighter is on there. You got Hitman. You got freaking Borderlands 4 is coming. You got sports games, like I said earlier, which was crazy to me. Cyberpunk.
yeah.
Like you have, because I always used to joke around, like, Nintendo makes a lot of the more fluffier, friendlier type games. And now you have Hitman, Elden Ring. You got games that are a little bloody, that
Yeah.
kind of push that label a little bit, right? And you got James Bond, you got Tony Hawk, it just like the list goes on. You could look up the list online. Hades, like there's something, it's good, man. Like I'm looking at this list.
That's a pretty good lineup, honestly. And I actually forgot about
price
Tony
is
Hawk.
another thing.
Yeah, we.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can get
You
into
want
it.
to jump into it?
We can, man.
So wait, before we jump into it, I do want to say the game, to answer your question originally, the game that I'm very interested in for some odd reason is Donkey Kong. It looks like
Donkey Kong looks like a good
freaking
time.
destruction.
Yeah.
Yes, it looked like Hulk Jr. You're just beating shit up and destroying stuff. Like I was like, this might be my kind of game. But yeah, that one is definitely. And I never played. I promise you, this is going to be weird to say. I never played a Donkey Kong game in my life.
Really? You never played like Donkey Kong Country or anything?
Never.
Oh, man,
Never had the urge to play it. Never.
You missing out on a good time,
I've
man.
never played a Donkey Kong game. And let me just say this. This has nothing to do with Donkey Kong. I just don't know why. It's not that I hate him like I do Mario.
You just missed the boat on it, I guess.
I don't know. I just never played a Donkey Kong game. Like it's kind of weird even for me to say it. I'm like, damn, I never really did. But I look forward to changing that because this game actually just looked like stupid fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I was very impressed with the environmental destruction in this game. Like the fact that he can just dig into the ground like he's doing here. Like this is just insane.
Look at it. It's just so stupid.
He can just change the terrain and find secrets and like look at that. Like he literally just dug a hole in the ground and found a cave. Like this is the kind of stuff that once again, right, that I will give Nintendo credit on, man. They are true innovators when it comes to their franchises and IP. And it's funny enough, they actually just released speaking of Donkey Kong Country, Weenie, I think the HD remake came out in January, if I remember right. Like I watched the trailer for it yesterday with Lisa. She loves Donkey Kong Country too, so she was just like, she was just kind of geeked when I showed her some of these games, man. Like they just look like a really good time. And I don't know if this is like an open world game. I didn't get to watch the Treehouse Live for this one. I probably will later, but This one
But you got to
definitely
think,
definitely is curious
ooh,
one for me too. And this comes out in July. This releases. We haven't. I guess we haven't even said when the console's launching. So the console is launching June 5th, 2025. This comes out July 17th, 25, which is pretty cool. But I mean, like, look at that. Like, that's just insane. This game actually looks incredible,
he's
man.
just destroying the whole map. And my thing is, before we get to these prices, it's kind of bad that we have to have this talk, but we do. But I just feel like with their OG lineup, the Zeldas, the Marios, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Metroid, and
Yeah,
then you're adding like these amazing third party games to your system. I think it's a major selling point for the Switch. Like they're gonna have a nice library of games because who knows what third party games are coming in the future, and I believe that
yeah,
comes with the upgrade of power to the Nintendo Switch. They're able to
agreed. Yeah,
play some of these taxing games now, and look at that, damn, he blows straight through that.
especially a company like Microsoft, who's been
Hmm.
very vocal about
About
moving to.
sharing their games
Yeah,
and
like I know, like we talked about Starfield and how it wasn't for us, but imagine a Starfield comes out on Switch too, and you can play it in handheld mode, in bed or even Forza. That was kind of like my a thought of mine too. Like, what if Forza Horizon 5 comes to Switch too? It'll do fucking numbers. Like,
well, yeah, it's like going to be a great system. It's going to have a real robust library, but unfortunately,
yeah.
that library is going to come with a cost. Let's talk about it, Darius. How do you feel
What
about
a
those
what a
prices?
segue! Look at this guy, man. Yeah, we can get into it, man. So, we got the announcement that especially Mario Kart World. I don't know about this one actually. I don't know about Donkey Kong, but I know for sure they announced that Mario Kart World is retailing at $79.89 for the digital version and eighty-nine
God
ninety
damn!
nine for the physical copy, which
God damn!
which really kind of kills me about the physical copies of Switch
For
games because
collectors out
they
there.
only come. No, it's not even that, because the physical copies of a lot of their first party games, from what people are saying, only has a digital key on the cartridge, and you still have to download the game anyway. So you're paying $10 extra for the plastic. You're not even actually, the game isn't physically on the cartridge. And here, me and DC have talked about it for a long time now, man. Like, we knew this day was gonna come eventually. Like, I believe
Mm-hmm.
I called this shit. I predicted it, that we were going to get a price increase before the end of this generation. And I mean, to be fair, we're about halfway through, a little more halfway, depending on how you want to look at it. But I guess the major question that I have, right, is specifically for the US. I don't know the economic situation for the rest of the world, but do you think it's going to affect the overall sales of Mario Kart? And I mean, we can even talk about, we since we're talking about prices too, we can talk about the tariffs that have hit the U.S. as of a few days ago.
All of it, brother.
Yeah. Um,
All of it, man. All unfortunately, it is what it is right now. Like things are happening in the world that are not only affecting the gaming industry, but a fact. It's affecting a lot of people's way of life right now. And
yeah.
unfortunately, I know the people over at Nintendo are blowing a gasket because they like, damn it, y'all kind of like stepping on our rollout here. Like we didn't expect like tariffs and all this stuff to be happening, but here we are. So first of all, I want to touch on the prices of the game.
Yeah.
And I've always come, like I said last episode, I understand from a family standpoint. I understand if your kid comes up to you and he wants a $80 game and you just paid the mortgage, your car insurance, and
And
you
bought
you
three
you
eggs.
paying a yeah, you bought 3 eggs and you had to buy gas for the lawnmower and cut the grass, and I get it. Like I get it. Me personally, is $80 a little steep? Yes, but me personally, if I want the game, I'm gonna get it. And so But speaking from a family point of view, I get it. Like there's something that everyone just don't want to be coughing up $80 every, month or so. Because if you think about it, what you buy, what 5 games, you literally bought the console, right?
Yeah,
So
essentially, yeah.
yeah, so it's it's a little steep, but we come to this part. We've had this talk a billion times. It's like things are going to cost, hardware costs more, everything is going up in price, so we have to find a sweet spot to where the devs, everyone's getting properly paid. And I don't know, it's a really tricky situation
Yeah.
because you can kind of justify these prices, but whether people want to hear it or not, like is we can't keep these prices forever. It's going to be impossible to keep the same prices. It just stings. Like I feel like people eventually are going to get over it. Now, if they keep raising the prices, it can get a little predatorial.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? But I don't know, man, because like I'm on the side of always getting yelled at because like I'm like, yo, I know the prices are coming. I don't like it as much as y'all do, but I'm willing to pay for it. But now, if we
Yeah,
get to a
yeah.
point where games are like $100, 120, then I'm bowing out. Like the hobby is done at this point. Gaming is no longer a hobby for me. If we see prices like that, I'm like, no,
Yeah, and it's
because
it's so crazy, man. Like
people forget, man. People forget when sports games cost more than regular games. They don't remember them days. Because
yeah,
sports
and
games, remember when they was always 60, $70?
I was gonna say I've seen people try to justify the price increase with the prices of how certain games used to be, decades ago. But just like you said, right? Like we're in a much different economic situation than we were then, and games back then didn't have as many features, as nice
Mm-hmm.
graphics, as much investment, especially from a post-launch support side, right? And I think what that's gonna do, and because at first I was actually pretty upset with Nintendo not announcing the price of the console during the presentation, during the direct. But I
Mm-hmm.
understand why they did that now, because for those of you who haven't been following, pre-orders were originally supposed to go live on April 9th in the US, but they have postponed that to a date they have not said because of the tariffs, which tells me that there's going to be a price increase for the US. I think people just
Yep.
need to, and it's not just going to be Nintendo. I can promise you that. We are just all pawns in a very big game that's being played around the world right now with these tariffs, and the common gamer, the common person is going to suffer. And while I understand some points where people are saying like, oh well, yeah, gaming has been kind of static as far as a hobby, when it comes to prices versus other hobbies that people may or may not have. But I don't think that really justifies people just being callous about the price increase and being disingenuous about it. That's just how I feel about it, and it sucks. It sucks. We've been talking about it for a long time here, and I knew it was gonna happen eventually. I wasn't expecting it to happen to come from Nintendo first, honestly. Like I just be completely honest. It definitely caught me off guard, and then you got to think too, especially with a game like Mario Kart World, which you'll probably start to see updates. You'll probably get like maps, DLC, etc. Extra characters, all that good stuff. Will you have to pay for those too? Am I gonna have to pay for the DLC when it comes out? Probably, yeah. You're probably gonna have to pay $10 for those extra 12 maps, 10 maps, how many ever, right? Like it's really gonna start to come down. And I honestly do think this is going to affect Nintendo's bottom line when it comes to sale projections, and they're probably pretty worried about it right now, honestly, especially in the U.S. because
Oh
the U.S.
yeah,
is one of
hell
the
yeah.
hugest markets. I was looking it up. I think out of the 160 some odd million Switches that were sold around the world, I think the U.S. alone counted for more than 46 million, which is a huge percentage.
I got a hot take though.
What's that?
I think they'll be fine.
In the long run, sure.
I
Yeah.
think I even think like if we make adjustments with tariffs, let's just throw a number out there. Let's just say if they do have to up it to 6.
100?
I just like whatever the price is, whatever the price is, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like Nintendo, the Nintendo nights are going to show out. I just feel like
Oh
they're
yeah.
gonna,
Okay, I agree with that. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. I just feel like people are going to buy it anyway, like because we want what we want. Like people find a way to get shit when they want it.
Yeah.
Either whether it's like neglecting responsibilities or you save up for it or
That's a good point.
whatever the case may be. I feel like Nintendo audience is just so strong that I honestly, I feel like they'll be okay. Maybe that's a hot take, but I feel like they're gonna show out for it.
And I mean, to be quite honest, I was expecting the console to be in the range that it's in anyway. Like, I was expecting between 400 and 500.
Dude, let me tell you something.
At launch. So
I brace for all of this, bro. Like, I just be like, yo, it is what it is. And like I said, I don't want to be insensitive to those who, do have families and stuff and have to think about these things. But I be bracing myself. I'm like, oh, I know this shit's gonna cost, and maybe I'm part of the problem, and I'm okay.
no, I mean, I think, and to be quite honest, to take it even one step further, I think the price increase was going to happen whether we had tariffs or not, whether the tariffs got announced or not. I think we were heading towards $80 games anyway. I just to be 100%
No,
honest.
you're on record. You're on record saying this on a couple of episodes.
I thought it was going to be GTA 6. I thought they were going to be the first ones to do it. I said this shit some episodes
GTA
ago.
6 on crack. GTA 6 said we going for that 100 ball.
Yeah. I think that game's going to be minimum 90, honestly. $100 probably for like deluxe edition, whatever, but I think we could see.
2026, get ready to pay 100 for that.
Nah, it's coming out this year, man.
It's not coming out this year.
But
it's not.
Ultimately, I am inclined to agree with you. I think this console's still going to sell out. I think it's going to still be very successful. And shout out to the way that they're doing pre-orders too. And I know nothing's foolproof, of course, but in this day and age, they're trying to mitigate some of that stuff in this day and age of scammers, where I saw that you have to have a certain amount of play hours, and you have to have an active Nintendo online subscription for a certain amount of time, and those people will get priority on purchase, which I think is incredible. Shout out to them for that, because they could have just let the floodgates open and all the AI chatbots would have just bought them all. Yeah, 50 hours in an online sub for a year, which I think is very fair. I think that's cool that they want their fans to be the first people to be able to buy the console before the robots do. So shout out to Nintendo for that, man. Like, they aren't always thinking about the consumer. Nintendo, don't kill me. But I think we'll see how well it works. You're right, Winnie. Like, I know there's probably like some loopholes and stuff people are gonna try to exploit, but
boy,
I'm glad that we have that at least. Like, at least some companies are looking at this, trying to figure out ways to mitigate this growing problem that we have with. Fuck scalpers, man. If you're a scalper, like, I fucking hate you. I do. Don't listen to the podcast. I hate you.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Don't come to the podcast. We don't like you around here. You're the worst. And I hate you.
Buying boatloads of damn Nintendos just sitting in your house.
You're the worst kind of human.
Somebody breaking your house. Wait, hey, y'all, how you gonna just transition screen when the
you want to see
fro?
You want to see our fro guy? Cut his jib, man. He's a nice guy.
Look at this guy. For our audio listeners, we are looking at the biggest white fro.
It would be a great deep cut for the pod. Never mind. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
I've never seen a white man with such a big fro.
I don't think he's white, man. I don't think he's a white guy. He don't look.
He's not white.
I don't think so.
I thought that was Bob Ross.
All right. Okay.
Oh, Bob Ross, eat your heart out.
Shut up. You guys are stupid. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, check us out live, man, or go to the YouTube if you want to see the most illustrious fro on this man dime that we have.
Yeah, he's a true man dime right here, man. Incredible, man. But yeah, that's the Nintendo presentation, man. Is the direct. I will. I'm gonna say this. I think we'll get information about pricing and pre-orders before the end of April. I'm hopeful, and it's gonna be a bloodbath for the U.S. Just, it's gonna be a bloodbath trying to get one of these things for the first like 6 months. So good luck to everybody who's trying to be an early adopter. I'm gonna wait. As much as I want the console, I'm gonna wait. So I'm still gonna buy one. I'm very excited for Mario Kart. I'm racing for pink slips, and
I'm racing for Jesus.
Okay, all right.
And Dark Star is racing for glory.
He's racing for glory, man. We all got our own motivations, and I love it. So that's pretty much it, man. I can't really think of much else. As we kind of.
That's the thumbnail right there, by the way, too.
Yeah, I was gonna talk to you about the thumbnail. I'll text you about it. I got a great fucking idea.
That's definitely the thumbnail.
But yeah. Unless you got anything else, DC, I guess we can wrap her and dapper, man. On this another.
I just wanted to say real quick that, unfortunately, that oh man, it's just so much happening in the world. Hopefully, you guys, can get your hands on one of these if you're looking to get one and not pay out through the ass, because I took the news kind of in a way because I really, really do want one.
Yeah. Same.
So with the tariffs and stuff, I was just like, this is some bullshit. But yeah, man, hopefully, I could get my hands on one of these. I wanted to be the first to, like, well, not
an early adopter,
first, but yeah, I wanted to get it, like, and it dropped. And then I just realized that it's dropping pretty quick too. So
it's dropping
I'm
in
the type of person
game announcement season too, which is insane.
Another reason why I don't mind spending money, because I'm pretty good at saving. I never really just buy stuff outright. Like, I'm pretty good at saving up for stuff that I want. So yeah, like I hope, I'm aiming to have one of these by the end of the year. I don't know.
Same.
Or sooner.
Yeah.
It just all depends on what's going on in the world, tariffs, all that shit. But we'll see, man. And that, because I'm very excited that with the third party lineup, that really, like, Borderlands 4, that's major, man. Like,
yeah, Borderlands 4 looks good too. That's
freaking major, dude. Like, it's like, I feel like Borderlands 4 is really gonna be a hit too. I really feel like it's gonna be a hit, man.
God,
they need even like outside of Elden Ring, they got Dusk Blood, which is
which is a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, was what people are calling it. And they were angry.
Yeah. So to have that on a Switch, like, I don't think people really understand, like, these third party games on Switch are amazing, dude. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there. I want to put big fat emphasis on that, like. Nintendo, shout out to Nintendo for doing that, man. Because usually they're very just closed door, tight knit. What do you call it? Golf club. You got to have the special vest on to get in here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But to see them open up and then possibly having Xbox games on this bad boy, man, it's one of the shining lights for me for this year. Like, I'm very, very excited about that. And that's all I got. I'm not going to talk you out to death.
Agreed. Well, like I said, we're definitely going to try to get our hands on these over the next couple of months, give some impressions, play a little Mario Kart, man. I don't really have a lot for you guys today. Just take it one day at a time, man. It's mental health is, irregardless of what you may or may not have going on in life, man. Just know that you're still here, you're still striving every day, and every day's a battle for a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
And, we love you guys here, of course, at Super Weapon. And make sure you guys please check out the Super Weapon YouTube. DC has been uploading some Let's Plays over there. He's playing Schedule 1 right now, so please check that out. It's pretty funny. I've gotten through most of the first episode, I think. And I'm excited for the next one. So,
and you know what? I just want to throw this out there. This is like completely like, fresh playthrough. So my reactions are pretty much legit because this game keeps surprising the hell out of me with the debauchery that is being a drug kingpin. But yeah, I just decided to, you know what? I'm
Just
gonna record it. Why not? Let's throw some
please
content
check
up.
it out, man. It's pretty funny. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah,
other thing, but it's great.
yeah, 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 for sure.
But that's it, man. Thank you guys for hanging out for episode 226. Let us know what your Switch 2 impressions are as well. If you guys are excited for it, if you are disappointed by the price of games, the potential price hike before the console even launches, or what you're planning on doing with the future of gaming as our hobby continues to become more expensive. But that's it, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys are in chat, hang around. We're gonna play some video games. Audio listeners, we will catch you guys next time, man. See you later. Peace.
Wait, hold on. Everybody stop. Pause. We will not be live next week. We got some house cleaning to do. We will not be live.
No episode next week.
You will not have a new episode next week, but I will be dropping a Schedule 1 playthrough that Saturday, but we will not be live. Y'all will see us next week. We got some things we got to clean up and just, got some family time. Darius got to do some things. I got to do some things. But yeah, next week, come next week.
Yes.
And that's it. We out of here.
All right. See you guys later. Grenade.
Peace.